Welcome to the Rockefeller Center. Located on 49th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue, it is one of the most celebrated and unique features of New York City. It was designed by Raymond Hood, who led a large team of many architectural firms into the project. The Rockefeller Center is named after John D. Rockefeller Jr., who was a member of the prominent Rockefeller Oil Company. It is considered the largest private building project of the time, since it is comprised of 19 buildings plus a concourse underground. It is built in the Art Deco style, which is influenced by the numerous other styles of the early 20th century, and tends to be extremely decorative. Other examples of the style in New York City include the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building. In addition, the center is famous for integrating public art, such as the sculptures seen in the ice rink, as well as the reliefs on the facades of the various buildings. Another centerpiece is the giant color frescoes located in the lobby of the GE Building, also known as 30 Rockefeller Plaza.
Even though 30 Rock is aesthetically pleasing, this was not the reasoning behind the design of the building. The GE Building is a perfect example of Louis Sullivan's theory of form always following function. In his writing, The Tall Office Building Artistically Considered, Sullivan explains that the shape or form of a building should be directly derived from the function or intended purpose of the building itself. On top of high-rise zoning laws that required setbacks in the facade of the building, architect Raymond Hood developed the form of the GE Building with two main focal points. One was the idea that with less people visiting upper floors, less elevators would be needed to service these floors, thus eliminating the number of elevator shafts as you travel upward in the building. 3 setbacks on the north and south walls step the building back from the east facade, reflecting the reduction in number of elevator shafts centrally located within. The other main idea behind the design was the fact that Hood wanted to obtain the most amount of marketable office space as possible. He did this by centrally locating the high-speed elevators. By doing this, the architects eliminated undesirable and unlit interior loft space in the center of the building, which would normally rent at a much lower price. The planners designed office spaces to be no wider than 27.5 feet between the interior corridors to the windows. This was the maximum distance that would give an acceptable amount of daylight and ventilation to the office spaces. The economy of the building even impressed the hardened businessman who rented the office spaces to various tenants. The GE Building is a prime example of how form follows function.
More on Louis Sullivan's theory, the form of the building and the aesthetic qualities should directly be pulled from the program of the building, whether it be offices, residential, industrial, and so on. The GE Building, formerly the RCA Building, was the linchpin in the entire Rockefeller Center scheme. It met demands for studio, shop, circulation, and office space presented by the Radio Group, the original tenants. A remarkable part of the Rockefeller Center as a master plan is the underground concourse system. It connects all 19 buildings in the center and is accessible by subway. It was planned as such so businessmen and tourists alike could conveniently enter the center directly from their commute. From here, there are many businesses, shops, and restaurants that attract millions of people every year. Above the underground concourse is the ground floor. Entrances to the NBC studios are located here, along with the grand lobby and the many elevators. For most people who do not work in the building, this is as far as they can get, aside from the observation deck entrance on the north side, which takes tourists up to the top of the building, popularly known as Top of the Rock. With the country facing economic catastrophe and the world between 2 wars, this was John D. Rockefeller's gift to the city, a place for locals and visitors to marvel at the city he loved, with one of the most breathtaking views available. Outside of 30 Rock, there are other many well-known establishments included in the Rockefeller Center master plan, including Radio City Music Hall, 1250 and 1270 at Avenue of the Americas, and the Outdoor Plaza, the Channel Gardens, and the Promenade, where the famous ice skating rink is located and many events happen, such as the annual Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting.